Stuff here. I just got my supplies for my oil change. I was worried that Walmart might not have the cartridge filter that the new Tacomas take, but it does. It's the 9972. I went for the more expensive filter, like $11, something like that. And there's my oil. I got 6 quarts of 0W20 oil. Total bill was 51 bucks and change, so not cheap. And I don't know, maybe I need to reevaluate my need to change oil every 5,000 miles. Maybe I'm being a dinosaur, because when I'm looking at the filter, it says proven protection up to 15,000 miles for the filter. The oil says 15,000 miles of guaranteed protection. So I don't know, maybe I'm just wasting money doing it every 5,000 miles. I'll have to think about that, but I got the stuff, so I am definitely doing it today. So I'm on my way home. Alright, I am now home. Here's my 2016 Tacoma up on ramps. Here are my supplies for the job. I have a total of 6 quarts of the 0W20 Mobile 1 synthetic. I have this adapter that you supposedly need to get the oil filter canister off. There's my new filter, Pram 9972. My gross looking oil catch. This is my impact wrench. I'm going to use that to take off the pan. The skid plate. The skid plate needs to come off to get to the filter, which is kind of a pain in the ass. I've actually been considering, you can buy aftermarket skid plates that actually have an opening, so in theory you don't have to take it off to change the oil filter. But I'm going to take it off now, and yeah, I'm going to get started. I'm going to get the skid plate off first. Okay, these bolts that hold on the skid plate are 12 millimeter. I've been looking for an excuse to use my impact wrench. You have this little rubber lip here. You have to kind of just move it back a little bit to get on the bolt. Okay, it's 2. I think when I looked at this originally, I only saw a total of 4 bolts. Okay, it's 3, here's 4. Okay, feels loose. Okay, yeah, there's just like 2 little H hooks on the front that you have to just kind of lift up and pull the skid plate out. So that wasn't bad, especially with a power tool. Okay, so now with the skid plate removed, you can clearly see where the that's the oil filter, and the oil pan drain spot is right there. So I guess I will drain the main oil first. Okay, the bolt for the oil pan or the drain plug is 14 millimeters. I would recommend not using the impact wrench for that. I mean, I guess you could use it to break it loose, but definitely don't put it back on with an impact wrench. You could over tighten it. Okay, got that loose, got my oil pan underneath. Unfortunately, I'm out of the rubber gloves to protect my hands. Okay, so that, I almost stuck my head in the oil stream. That oil's been in there for about 4,000 miles now. If you go by Toyota standards, it wouldn't need to be changed for another 5 yet. Oof. Great. Always sucks when it's windy and you're draining oil. So anyways, yeah, supposedly it doesn't need to be changed for 10,000 miles. It looks dark. It doesn't look bad, but it looks, you know, darker than when I changed it at 1,000 miles, obviously. All right, let's let this finish draining. Okay, done draining the oil from the oil plug. I just synced it up hand tight. Get a little bit of a turn with the socket again. You don't want to lean on it and go crazy with tightening it up. All right, so looking at this oil filter canister, got this little catch here. I think it somehow must interact with this when you loosen it, so I'm going to see how this comes out. Let's see what happens. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see it on the camera. It has just like a 3/8 looking socket extension thing on the bottom. So I'm curious if I put that in there. Oh, okay. If I put that in there and loosen it, it's loose. I guess I should get oil paint under here. I'm not sure if oil's going to come out at this point or not. But I think I remember reading that this is like the drain plug right here. Just take this out. Alright. Only a little bit came out. So I put my thing on here. Let's see if this whole thing turns loose. It is turning. There's slots in the side of this, so I'm lining up this filter with a slot. Turning very slow. Like usually with a conventional oil filter, you know, once you break it loose, you can kind of spin it off the rest of the way by hand. Alright, let's get it looser. Okay, now it's quite loose. Getting out of the way. I can see some oil's going to be coming. Oh yeah. Well, if that drain plug's supposed to actually drain, it certainly didn't do its job. Because the filter was filled with oil. Okay. Here's the old filter. Not much to it. What a mess. That's what the inside of it looks like. My wrench is kind of stuck on here. I'll I'll worry about that later. Okay. Alright, so I got a big chunk of oil on various parts here on the frame and stuff, which, since it's a new truck, I would really prefer to keep it as oil free as possible. I'd be curious seeing a Toyota Tech do it, like how you avoid having a waterfall of oil coming down. I would think that that drain plug is supposed to do something, but it sure didn't seem to. Okay, so here's my new filter. With O-rings. I read about the O-rings. I don't see any O-rings on here. Alright, I need to do some reading here. So let me not waste your time. I'll get a better idea what's going on. That's interesting. When I open this up, it says that you insert this, you remove that metal piece, and then you insert this into the spot where the plug was, and then this is supposed to drain the oil, I guess. So my bad for not realizing that. Install drain pipe into cap by turning clockwise until snug and drain oil. And it says if you want to go crazy, you can put a hose in the end to further route it down. So that's interesting. So keep that in mind next time. If you get one of these in your oil filter, use it to drain the old oil. Okay, there's two O-rings that are included in the oil change kit. One is a large O-ring that is designed to replace this ring right here, even though this feels totally fine. And then the other small one is, you can't see it because I have this filter still stuck on here. The small one is supposed to go between the plug and the housing. I guess there's a small O-ring in there that I can't see right now. So those are the two O-rings. So I'm going to get this big one off first. It says to be careful to not damage the channel that this sits on. Okay, here you go, not too bad. Here's my nice shiny new one. Let's grease it up a little bit, it's very easy. As far as the actual paper element goes, I don't see any designation of top versus bottom. You can see this one has more of a paperish feel to it as opposed to this. This is the factory one. Same height. So yeah, this just slides on there like that. It also says, like, you know, wipe out the housing of any contaminants, you know, kind of standard. While you're in there, clean it up best as you can. So okay, so I'm gonna thread this back on, hopefully, and then I'll deal with the small O-ring once I have the main housing back on. It says on here that you're supposed to torque this to 15 to 23 foot-pounds of torque, the oil filter. I'm going to kind of go by feel though. Okay, pop the wrench off. Right there's that other ring. That's the other small ring that they say you should replace. Just kind of getting the gunk out, because there was some gunk in there. and out. The frame ones are a little easier to see because they are this reddish color instead of black, so they kind of stand out a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna put the camera down. It's kind of hard to do. Okay, you can notice in there how that is threaded inside there. So it's designed for the for this piece to actually goes like this. It threads in, and then as you thread it in, it will push a little kind of like a spring mechanism in, which will allow the oil to drain. So good note for next time. You can see I have the small replacement O-ring in place as well. Okay, I have the filter casing back on, and I just wanted to point out with this wrench, the reason it kind of got stuck on me because I wasn't really paying attention. On the filter housing, there's slots that come down either side. One side has these 3 slots you just align with this on the wrench, and the other slot has a single. So if you align it correctly, which I didn't do, you won't have problems with it sticking on like I did. So I got the housing on pretty tight, and now I'm going to just tighten the drain plug. And just snug. I'm not going to go crazy on it. And try to wipe off as much excess oil as possible. It still annoys me. Okay, so the filter portion of it should be done. So I got oily shit all over the place here due to bad execution. Okay. This is all oily as shit. Alright. So now I need to get the pan back on. So in theory I should be able to just hook it on those front hooks and then zip them back in. Unfortunately, you have to kind of do that by feel. You can't really see where they are, but it's the kind of thing that if you do it once, you'll be fine. Just going loose with these first. Could strip the screws. Oh, damn it. Because these things are powerful. Fuck. Alright, I'm wondering if I don't have the hook on this side. That's what it feels like. Yep, I don't. More of a pain to put on than it was to take off. Alright, that feels started. Alright, so they're all started. Okay, all back in place. Okay, now comes the easiest part of the job. I'm going to add oil. I'm going to add, this takes close to 6, I think. So I'm going to actually add the full 5 and then back it off the ramps and then do the last roughly quart on flat ground so I can measure it, not overfill it. Like I was saying earlier when I picked up the oil, I might need to update my viewpoints on engine oil change duration. You know, old school used to be every 3,000 miles, and then it shifted to 5,000 miles. But it seems like with these high-grade, expensive synthetics, going every 10 might not really be as horrible of a thing as it might first appear to be to someone like me. So I'll do a little bit more research on it. Okay, so there's my 5 quarts in. Gonna back it off the ramp. I guess I should just point out a couple things. Right there is where the engine oil dipstick is. Right there is where you fill it. I just did a quick check and it looks like it's slightly more than a quart low, so I'm going to probably wind up dumping that whole quart in that I have here. It's hard to get them right where you want them. So all in all, doing that canister filter, you know, taking off the skid plate, it's not a huge deal, not that hard. And the actual procedure to change the canister filter is not that bad, especially if I would have known that I could have drained it better. Because really the only problem was having all that oil spill out. Alright, so I just dumped the whole thing in. And do another reading, see where we're at. I don't know if you probably can't see this in the GoPro, but there's two dots on here. The dot closest to the end is the 1 quart low, and then the second dot is where you want your oil level to be after you change it. And you never want to dramatically overfill your engine with oil. Alright. Yeah, I could use a little bit more. I have some 0W20 left over, so let me just get that. So when I did my oil change originally, I wound up using slightly less than 6 quarts, and it seems like this time I'm going to wind up using slightly more, and I attribute that to not changing the filter first time. So if you're going to change the filter, you're going to probably need slightly more than 6 quarts of oil, so just FYI. Alright, so let's check the oil one more time. Should be pretty good now. And make sure you insert the stick all the way when you're checking level. Yep, that's good. It's a fraction over the second dot. That's fine. Actually, I think it's going to be right at 6 or just barely over 6 if you're changing the filter. So all I got to do at this point is pull out my tube, put my oil cap back on, and then I'm going to run it for a minute or two and just hang out underneath to make sure that there's no leaks coming from that canister, since I've never done the oil filter, and I have it nice and tight, but I just want to make sure that there's no leaks. And assuming there's not, that's really all there is to it. So this is how you do an oil and filter change on a 2016 Toyota Tacoma. Until next time, Duffman out. One side note. Okay, that looks good. I didn't really think about it, but you can't really check the oil filter very well once you put the skid plate back on. So if you want to be able to check the tightness of the oil filter and make sure it's not leaking, leave the skid plate off when you do this test. I'm going to try to get some angle where I can see it, but this would be easier if you did this with the skid plate off. Alright, can kind of see it here. Looks good, no leaks. Just watch out for the AC condensation hitting you in the face.